Ryugi, keeping it real fishing here. Quick video. It's been forever since I put one out. Got the tabletop all set up. I got a box from Tackle Warehouse, and I got some pretty cool stuff I'd like to show you. So let's throw the camera on the tripod and take a look. Alright guys, let's get into it here. Do people even still do unboxings? Maybe I'm dating myself here. I haven't done one in forever and I just want to put up a video. So anyway, just going to share with you some goods and a little of the thought process behind them and give you a closer look, right? That's the nature of unboxings. Here's something and this isn't a product really, but I never go for hats, but I kind of like that graphic, the new Tackle Warehouse graphic. I almost never wear their stuff too. They always give you free t-shirts. I usually pass, but I was kind of keen to that one, and I have like no trucker hats, so rarity for me, but I picked up a hat. Alright guys, let's get into some real stuff here. From Smash Tech. This is one that came out pretty recently. It was within the last year. It's a little gill. I think this is a 4.5 inch gill. Yep, 4.5 inch. What's pretty cool about it is it's fully weedless. You can see in hand there. It's a pint-sized little guy. Utilizes the Owner Beast 6/0. So that's going to screw into the front. Hook slot in the bottom, and then different than some of their other weedless lures, and I'm actually going to show you another one in a minute, it also has an accompanying hook slot in the top, and it doesn't pass completely through. That plastic is, there's kind of a little barrier of plastic separating the bottom from the top, but a nice little compact bait, and just something I want to mess around with. Good to bring through weeds. I have plenty of bigger gills, but I'm all about bluegills, and I'm all about weedless bluegills. So I figured I'd try that little guy. With him, I picked up some more of these. I use the 6/0 in a lot of things. I actually like to, in many of my weedless swim baits, I often try to, if I can, downsize from what the manufacturer recommends. It might sound a little silly going down from what they recommend, but I like using the smallest hook possible whenever I can, as long as I'm getting good hook penetration. But anyway, this 6/0 is the hook that's recommended and sized for this lure. Kind of looks big sitting next to there, doesn't it? But anyway, that's the one for that. So we got some more Owner Beast 6/0s. Keeping on the Smash Tech vibe here. Here's the 6-inch model. What do they call this one? I think they call it like the yeah, they call it the Gizzard Shad just because of the profile, but they make these in a series of different colors. As you can see, this one here is in the perch color. And I'll just throw this out in the hand for you guys. 6 inches. That's a good size. I was just mentioning a second ago we were going to come back to the hook pocket. This one here also utilizes the screw-in weighted hooks. You could use Owner or Trocar. So it's nice deep hook cavity there for the hook to slide and the weight to slide through. But what you don't have is anything on the top. It's just flat plastic. I've been using these since they came out. I'll roll in just some of my other ones here, guys. Yeah, these are from a few years ago. I've been using the 5-inch model. That's in the standard gill. Really get hammered on these. This also utilizes the 6/0 hook. Same deal though. There's just no place to hide the hook on top. It stays pretty weedless, but I do like it when they have an actual cutout like they do in the little gill here. But these Smash Tech Gizzard Shads, now they had them in the 5-inch and the 7-inch going back. And I'll even show you a 7-inch. I got these when they first came out, and I thought this was going to be the bee's knees. I was like, yeah man, a 7-inch, even though it's a shad profile, I got it in a bluegill color. The problem I found with these, the plastic is nice and soft, which is good for action. But you can see that whole nose deal there. The weight of the lure just exceeds the holding power of the plastic. It's a very soft plastic, and I blew out the nose of this thing, I think, on my first day casting it. This one here utilizes a big 12/0 hook. And again, you can see that's kind of what I was talking about there. You can see how that hook just kind of rests on top. But anyway, so like I said, these 5-inch ones have always been money for me. This one here, I think the weight of the plastic just exceeds what the screw-in can accommodate. And so I wanted to go try the 6-inch. I thought maybe that would be a nice happy medium. But those are good lures all around, guys. These Smash Tech weedless models. It's a pretty good size profile, and they make them in a host of different colors. So if you're not up on those, you might want to check these out. I don't hear too many people talk about the Smash Tech stuff a lot, and they have some nice products out there. The 6-inch model and the perch. Let's get into some terminal tackle, guys. I love these things. These are from Hog Farmer. I picked up 2 of these. I've been losing a lot. These are the Magnum shaky heads, and I use these from Magnum Baits. There's a lure called I think it's the Wormser is what it's called. It's basically like a giant 10-inch Senko, except one of the ends of the tail is tapered. And here in the summertime, I like using really, really bulky, very large shaky heads. Some people use, things like the 12-inch man's jelly worm or stuff like that, but I like even upsizing. Those Magnum Baits worms are really, really wide. They have a ton of presence in the water, and this is a perfect hook for them. I think I got these in the 1/2 inch, or the 1/2 ounce rather, yep. In the past I've used a 5/8. I don't really need it to sink that quick, and particularly when I'm fishing around weeds, it just buries itself a little bit too much, so I figured I'd try the 1/2 ounce this time around. And those are just great for just any extra large plastic that you want to shaky head. Here's one that I really love. I never really hear people talk about. Title Shot, the Magnum Jig. These are so cool. This is another one that I use, that same brand, that Magnum Baits. I love their stuff. You know me, if you follow the channel, I'm always throwing a lot of big baits, always trying to kind of skew towards those larger bites. These are, as you can see, an all-in-one deal. It has one of these little plugs there. You just ram that right into your soft plastic, and you just, feed this through, so it's weedless, and it's all-in-one. It has a very streamlined head. You could use it for an extra large swim jig. You could put a Kitech on here. You could put, I use these big giant craws on here. Really anything you want, but it's just a nice all-in-one solution. Comes through grass really well, and they make them in a number of different weights. As you can see here, I got these 2 in a 1/2 ounce and these 2 in 3/4. It's a really nice product. Something else that I just stumbled across here, I thought I'd mess around with. I just needed some basic, just weights for Texas rigging. Now, as I was poking around, I found these, and they just have eyes on them for when I'm Texas rigging some normal size worms or 7 or 10-inch worms. And I said, hey, why not, right? Just give that little bit of extra lifelikeliness, a point of attack, make it look a little bit more alive. And that's basically it, guys. These are just conical weights that you would use for Texas rigging. And these here are in 1/2 ounce. That's the black. And these I think I got in 1/4. Yep, for my little 7-inch worms. And that's in a green color. They just put eyes on them, but I thought it was pretty cool. Let's put that over there. And you know what? We might have to clear the deck in just a second. One of my favorite lines here, guys. I've been through so many lines over the years. Most fluorocarbons scared the crap out of me years ago because I had so many breakoffs. But this one has actually the opposite. It has my absolute confidence. Seagar Abrazex is just amazing stuff. I use the 15-pound test on my smaller stuff. My 17 is pretty much my go-to, and a little bit of the 20. But if you haven't used Abrazex, and if you're a little wary of fluorocarbons, if you've had problems with knots breaking or just anything, try this one, because I almost abandoned fluorocarbon as a whole until I tried this, and this kind of just changed my whole perception. It's a great, great line. Another great line that having fiddled with numbers of monos and copolys over the years, this Suffix Advanced stuff is really the deal. Super, super strong. The one thing I'll note about Suffix Advanced is that it tends to run really thick. So this 14 really has the diameter of a lot of other manufacturers' 17 pounds. You can even kind of see here. Now fluorocarbon tends to be a little bit thinner, but just as an example, this 17 pounds has let's focus in now, a diameter of 0.370 millimeters, and this 14 pound has a diameter of 0.38. Again, I know fluorocarbons tend to be thinner, but this is just true in general. This stuff runs thick. So I actually, because I had the 17 pound, and the 17 pound has the thickness of most 20s. So I'm actually getting this 14, but I'm going to use it in applications where I would normally use 17. But it's just super crazy strong stuff, man. The memory is very manageable. I like this light green tint, and it's just a great line. If you haven't tried it, Suffix Advance, give that a try, man. Again, I've been through so many lines, and you know, you narrow it down over the years, and these two here have just really impressed the hell out of me. Let's clear this out. We're gonna have to make a little bit of space for what we're gonna talk about next. All right, guys. Next, I just want to show you these, and this is time-sensitive information, but these happen to be on clearance on Tackle Warehouse. As you can see, these are the Copper's Live Target, those big weedless sunfishes. Now, what I like about these is that they are kind of legitimately big. This is the 4-inch model. Let's take one out. We all know what 4 inches is, but let me show you this profile in hand, because these things really strike a very significant side profile. If the fish was not coming from the bottom, if it was coming from the side, it would be looking at quite the beefy meal. So you can see in hand, that's a good size meal, right? That's nothing small. Look at the side. Look at how chunky that is. Super, super chunky. The only thing I never liked about these is how they, this looks so beautiful, right? That's what you see in the package. You're like, wow, live target, yeah. But what the fish see is, I just wish they would have just painted over that. They just have that, you know, just strikingly silver area there for the lead. But listen, it gets bit all the same. These are really meant to kind of go back and forth, do a little like walk the dog, not walk the dog so much, but just kind of like stutter step in place. And I happen to have some of the other sizes here. I'm just getting into the 4-inch ones now. I didn't even realize they had them this big. So I was really excited when I saw it. And like I said, they're on clearance. Up until now, I've been throwing this one here. That's the 3-inch model. Again, they're all thick in a cross section. Very thick in the cross section. So they look very, very beefy if that fish is coming from like a side angle. And I've had this one for years. I never even opened it. And this is the 3-inch model. There's 3, 3.5, and 4. But I gotta tell you, as someone who likes to skew generally towards larger baits, I feel like this is a pretty substantial topwater offering in this 4-inch model. And I wonder if they're discontinuing them, being that they're on clearance. But anyway, these are pretty sweet, guys. Let me just get in close here, show you a little bit of detail. A lot of detail in these. Again, that silver there just kind of punches you in the face. You could just go over that with a metallic marker or paint it if you wanted to. Like I said, at the end of the day, I don't think it makes a big difference. I just wish they would have painted it. But yeah, these are really, really nice topwater offerings. The colors you're looking at here, this one is the copper pumpkin seed. They look almost indistinguishable to me. Copper pumpkin seed and bronze pumpkin seed. I can't really tell the difference. I guess a little bit here on the head. Essentially the same thing. Okay, a little bit more hardware, and then I'll get into something here that I want to take a minute to talk to you about. From Ryugi, you got this Pierce quad. Now here's what's, I'd never tried this brand before. I heard they had like a really slick coating, and I know a lot of manufacturers are doing that now. Gamakatsu, I think everybody's incorporating these kind of polymer slick coatings. Listen, I've never had problems over the years on anything from my Eagle Claws to my standard Gamakatsus, Owners, Mustads. They always got to put out something there to sell you. But listen, it can't hurt, right? If it's a little bit more slick. So, and I think they said something here, look at this TC coating, whatever that is. And one of these was talking about something with the hook point, how it really stays sharp in the long term. That's some issue that I have with some of my other brands where I do lose the point relatively quickly. So anyway, I just figured I'd try this brand. I never did. What I'm particularly interested in is, look at these guys. These rotate. And I've seen rotating hooks in the past where they have like a little swivel assembly built in. but it was always quite big, and it made the hook look just visually, you know, it just had a ton of unwanted presence. But if you look at this hook, yeah, it's a little bit thicker to accommodate, you know, this kind of that barrel assembly to hold the swiveling eye here, but there's not a whole lot of extra meat if you compare it to, let me just get another hook here. Like, here's a similarly sized hook. I think this is an owner. I'm not really sure. I just had it laying down next to me. But you see, that's just, you know, the normal welding the parts of the hook there together. This last hook to the other two. And they've managed to incorporate a rotating mechanism into essentially the same amount of, I guess you could say, the shaft space there or whatever. So visually, yeah, it has a little bit of oomph, but to me it's not that distracting or not that deterring. It's just marginally larger. But the benefit is huge. On any lure, let me just take one down. I got my thing here right in front of me. So here's a lure I like. This is a Steve's two-faced waking gill. Any hard bait, I like rotating hook hangers, and you don't see it in a lot of them. You don't see it there. Here's a Matt Lures perch. Just have stuff hanging in front of me, guys. Here's a Leaders Elite, right? These are all just fixed contact points. Is that the end of the world? No. A lot of lures, many lures just have the hooks, you know, attached in a fixed nature. But here's an exception. I love when lures do this. Here's the Lanciati Lure Psycho Gill rotating hook hangers built in. Ah, how many trophy fish are landed and not, you know, swimming back into the depths because that person with angler was able to keep them on for just a couple more seconds because the hook hangers rotate. That fish wasn't able to get leverage. So I am always looking for that feature. I don't see it nearly as much as I would like, but with these hooks, you can simply incorporate it. I'll just swap these hooks out. And let's take a look here. Steve's Stocks hooks. Yeah, you see? Hardly any more visual presence. And now I'm going to be able to have a rotating hook on here versus that stationary hook. So I'm pretty excited about these. And one more thing we'll just get out of the way real quick, guys. That same graphic on the shirt. I almost never get shirts either, but I was just kind of feeling these colors, kind of old school throwback colors. So I picked up the shirt. It was free with the order. Now let's get into some meat and potatoes here. Just hang with me for just a second if you're interested in this kind of thing. This is the new, what they should say is the new Slide Swimmer 175. Let's talk about this for a second. This is in, oh, by the way, this is in the, I think you say it, Seiko trout. I love this color, and I haven't seen this since back in the day when the OG, the foam model slide swimmers were out in the 250. I don't know if they ever have released the Seiko trout since then. If I'm wrong, you guys can comment down below. So I was very excited when I saw this finish in the 175. I have a few other 175 slide swimmers, which I'm going to roll in here because I want to show you a few things. But I never had one in a trout pattern. I always wanted one, and this is perfect. The new version came out. This finish, which hasn't been around in a long time, came out. So I was pretty stoked to pick this up. Let's take a closer look. Now, this is somewhat of a farce here, guys. I'm calling it an unboxing, but you best believe that I took this thing out immediately upon getting it, because I was really curious to see how it differed to my other slide swimmers. All right. So just right off the bat, guys, I hope this catches in the light. The Seiko, I'm sorry, I'm not sure how to say it, finish, it catches and throws a lot of light. It has that kind of geometric, reflective quality to the skin, and it's not catching it so great here, but it is quite reflective. So what makes this one different, and why is this the new slide swimmer? Well, visually, right off the bat is going to be these little bumpers here, or these fins. You have fins in the front now and fins in the back. What I noticed right off the bat, and this is a problem that I had on some of my other 175s, is that a lot of times this hook, either the front or the rear, would come around and the point would just get stuck in the outer skin. The soft plastic skin is awesome. It affords you a lot of really cool benefits. But one of the downsides is, way too often than I liked, on the 175 size, my hook points would get stuck like that, and they would just stay there for the duration of the cast. This right here is supposed to make that not happen nearly as much. And I got to tell you, just in practice, the amount of travel, the hook, I just can't even really get it to happen here casually. So we'll see how it plays out in the water, but it really doesn't look like this is going to help to prevent that from happening. And that's a big asset, because those are kind of blown casts when those hook points get stuck in the side of the lure. So right off the bat, that was the first thing that I noticed. Of course, the bumpers, but what they do for you. Some people that have fished this has only been out a little while, they're saying that these little fins add to stability and that it tracks better, it doesn't nose up as much, stuff like that. I haven't gotten this one wet yet, so I'm going to see about the swimming action. But here's what I want to show you guys. Let me roll in a couple of slide swimmers here. Here's a new slide swimmer, right? This is the, like I said, we're going to call this one the new. This is the new. Here's another new generation one. And then here is an OG. OG, for those of you guys unfamiliar, when anybody says that, they're talking about the models where the inside was a foam model versus the injected plastic. Okay. A lot of people always say how the OGs, whether it's the 175s or the 250s, how they swam better. People love these, and these kind of took some heat. Here's what I've noticed right off the bat, guys. And I hope I can capture this on camera. The amount of travel allowed for in the joints on the newest version is equal to what used to be on the OG version. This is one that I had found, it was like new old stock, right? This one was not used. I got this brand new out of the package. So the cut and the amount of travel in the plastic is as it came from Deps. So let me show you this here. We're going to need to get some clear viewing angles. So people like to swim on these, right? And I think one of the things is the amount of travel, right? How far can that joint extend? Because that's going to have a direct correlation to the way this thing noses out and how far it goes to each side. So there's the OG. It's going to be hard to demonstrate here with this camera angle. And here is the new one. And to my eye, they're pretty much the same. Okay. Compare that to the previous new slide swimmer, and you're going to see a dramatic difference. These had very little, the angle there is a lot shallower. Can you see that? Doesn't look like a lot, but that's significant in terms of swim. You probably have another good, what, 10, 15 degrees of angle there? Let me bring this down a little bit, make sure that gravity is doing its thing. And what's happening is you can see the plastic bumper just hits earlier. The angle on this new version is steeper. So you might say, well, maybe that's just the way that that one is cut. But there's consistency. Here's another one, and all these were bought new. Sorry about that, video just got cut off. Here's another one. Again, these are all bought new. Look at how shallow that angle is, and look at it compared to this angle. So, just something I want to make you guys aware of. People are wondering what's different with the new ones. Now, one of the things you might be saying right off the bat is, well, just cut it. And you absolutely can. There's just a little bit of difference here. What they've done, guys, is I haven't measured it, but it's just, they've taken off probably about 1 millimeter. Right here. Right there, there's just a little bit less plastic in that little bumper there. So it allows for a little bit more extension. Versus these, there's a little bit more plastic, it goes out a little bit further, so it hits earlier. Now, of course, you can modify that. 1, 2, 3, just go in there with a razor, just very, very carefully take off a little bit, see where you're at, and you can bring it in line with the amount of travel in the OGs or what they're implementing now in the new one. But it makes me wonder, you know, people always said that they love to swim with these. I heard mixed bag. Some people liked it, some people didn't. Kind of complaints with the new version. And now, I don't think it's by accident that they have since changed it, and now they're slightly cutting that thing a little bit deeper again. I think it's probably due to just feedback from customers and hearing things on forums. So again, while it was something that you could always do yourself, 1, 2, 3, for all those people out there that are just going to take it out of the box, and you're paying a lot for this lure, you're hoping to be impressed by the swim. With this one here, my guess and my hope is that that swim is going to in many ways equal the swim that people really liked on the OGs, a wider, more fluid swimming action. And I actually have footage of that. If you guys want to scroll way back, maybe 3 or 4 years, I have a comparison video of a bunch of glide baits, and the Deps 175 as well as the 250 and some others is in there, and you can really get a good idea of the fluidity of the swim on that OG. But that's pretty much it, guys. And one other thing I noticed here, because you might say, well, of course you could tell them apart because of the fins, but I noticed if you just look at the labeling there, the way they're doing the font, new slide swimmer and the 175 SS is right next to it, versus on the new ones, you could just see how it's a little bit different. They have new on the top in the middle, and the 175 SS is directly below everything. Just a slight difference with the font, but another way that you know that you're getting the newest version. So that's pretty much it, guys. That's everything that I wanted to show you. Thanks for hanging around on the unboxing. Excited to get these things out into the water, hopefully catch some giants, and I hope you catch some giants. So until the next time, guys, tight lines.